the official patron of the Sydney Blues and Roots Festival, and someone who needs no introduction, the great Glen A. Baker. Thank you.
I mean, who would have thought here in this venerable Macquarie town that it would become the epicentre of blues consciousness and blues awareness in this city, in this state? But it has become that, hasn't it? I came out here actually, I'm not entirely sure how, but for the first festival back in 2009, and I remember I got up on stage at a hall down the road there and I introduced the 4-day riders and the flood. I had a little bit of affection for the 4-day riders. I used to go and see them in the 70s. And then suddenly it sort of consumed me. I became immersed in the Sydney Blues Festival to the point where I turned around one day and somebody said, "You're its patron." And I said, "I am indeed. What a lovely idea. I've been called lots of things in my life, but to be called the patron of a great blues festival was an enormous honour." So this will be my 4th festival, and as each year has gone by, I've managed to get myself up on stages, and I've managed to tell tales and weave threads together, and I've been able to introduce acts, and along the way I've been able to stand on the side of the stage and see some incredible performances. Not only the ones I've introduced, but merely the people that have just come out here to play. And a number of acts now are pursuing the festival. The acts now, great blues acts, are coming to the Sydney Blues Festival, putting up their hand and saying, "Please, can we be a part of this extraordinary event?" And it really is becoming an extraordinary event. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be kind of like a Spanish matador. With a deft flick of the wrist, pay attention, with a deft flick of the wrist, I'm going to remove the... whatever we call this, the cape.
The white shoe.
The white shoe, yeah. You prosaic bastard.
It's right over the top.
And, okay,
It's stuck on the bottom.
3 acts you know, which is, of course, 2 Girls Will, Ashleigh Mannix, who we've seen, Ray Beadle, who we're about to see, and there will be 20 others in this first batch. In a month's time, there will be a second announcement, and I might just mention that those, along with the acts booked to just play in the main street, will constitute about another 50 acts on top of what you're about to see now. So let's hope I get my wrist working well. Here are the first acts. Now, of course, if you're short of sight or hard of sight, who knows what you did to yourself in adolescence, but you may not be able to read it all. So let me just run through. This is kind of like an eye chart at an optometrist. It is Ian Moss, of course, of Cold Chisel, the great American bluesman, fabulous harmonica player, Charlie Musselwhite, who doesn't get out here very often. Hugely popular local actor who just works so hard. The booking agent told me lately they just simply, the phone goes off the hook for her. Lanie Lane. Mia Dyson, another great gritty female local blues performer. The great Ray Beadle, who we're about to hear from in just a moment. The Trews from Canada. Now, I had to do a little bit of research on them, but in Canada I think they're about to have their 10th or their 11th top 10 hit over there. They're a major band, of whom among their admirers apparently one counts Russell Crowe. Now, for whatever that may be worth, whatever. And then, in reformation mode, which they've been doing for a couple of years, Mick Conway and the Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band. I can tell you that the canary still has circles under his eyes. Now, that's where we've got with the really, really big letters. Then the Backsliders, who have become really festival regulars. Dom and co. And Rob Hurst from the Oils, who I think will be with them this time, and Mr. Collard. Now, Chase the Sun, sleek, hot, fast, fabulous Australian blues band. Yeah, exactly. We can tell by the reaction in the room. Hugely regarded. Another interesting act, Jill Barber from Canada. who has elements, all sorts of things in there, including Edith Piaf, I'm told, and sort of she's a songstress, a minstrel, a blues, chanteuse. She's a whole range of things, and she's most intriguing. Then a great Polynesian actor, man from New Zealand, who's been around a long time and was here. I remember introducing him out in the street. Billy T.K. Jr. and his band will be crossing the Tasman and coming here. Then Darren Jack Hammond Trio, and an interesting character from America who will not sing to you but will talk to you. A man by the name of Sam Cutler. In fact, I'll be talking to him and we'll be on a stage somewhere. Sam used to be the tour manager for the Rolling Stones, amongst other things. He was involved in the Altamont Festival, and he's a great storyteller, and he knows an enormous amount about the music that we all grew up with. So Sam will be here. Okay, it really starts to get hard on the eyes now. We have the great duo. They're gorgeous clowns together, but they're devoted bluesmen, and that's Dave Tice, who was once in Buffalo and the Count Bishops, along with Mark Evans, the original bass player from AC/DC. And they're always a joy to watch. They are so fluid and they're so powerful in what they do. We have Microwave Jenny, an intriguing outfit, and then 8-Ball Aitken, who was kind of country and blues, and I think there's some rockabilly, and there's a bit of sort of gawky, cheeky craziness involved there. And I know I had his CD playing in my car once, and I forgot to take it off, and it haunted me for a long time. Benjau, Lloyd Speigel, the Lazies, Ashleigh Mannix, who we just heard a moment ago with great voice, Marshall Okell, and an extraordinary lady who I've come to be really enamoured of. And if you saw last year the Baby Animals, you would have seen her get up on stage with Baby Animals and I suppose give them a run for their money. She's Genevieve Chadwick, and if you've not seen her, she is a hoot. And then, of course, Colleen Fricker and the other two in Two Girls Will, who are really in great form tonight. They really are. Lovely band who I believe are... now, I've got to get this right. They have one EP or album out and another one due soon. Anyway, so that is the first 23 of the ones to be announced. I could tell you who they are, but then they would have to kill me. So I'm not permitted, right? Yes, he's looking at me with a stern look on his face to say, don't you even think about it. But this is a hell of a first announcement. Let me go right back to the top and say, let me ask a question. Who of you over the past few months have gone out and seen the reunited Cold Chisel? At what? Nobody in the room has? I'm astonished. Well, I can't really see because I got lights in my eyes. Chisel have never sounded better. They've never been more mature, more complete, more powerful, more satisfying. And one of the reasons why is that each of the members has come out of himself with an incredible sort of durable maturity, particularly Mossy. Mossy has been playing like a demon. Mossy has been singing with a texture that he's never sang with before. He is really quite extraordinary. The boy from Alice Springs has become one of the, I think, the most powerful acts, simply blues acts, whatever acts in the country. So there we are. That's the first tranche. That's the first swathe. That's the first batch of artists. And can I just say, what do you think of it so far? Okay, well, I reckon quite possibly, unless anything you want to ask me, we've possibly told you all this. We're going to get this off the stage. I'm going to tell you a word or two, and then we are going to have the sublime pleasure of seeing Ray Beadle on stage.